Okay, welcome to lesson 20. We continue with lists and strings. So I'm sure all of you remember what a string is. So whatever you have inside double quotes or single quotes are strings. Double, and here we have single. So let's say we have a variable named s, and here we have the word flower. So here, how many characters do we have? Or how many letters do we have? We have F, L, O, W, E, R. So we've got 6 characters, or here 6 letters, right? Now let's say we have a list which contains these letters. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have a list of characters. And here we've got indexes, right? 0 the first index and 5 the last index, which is length minus 1. So number of characters, 6, or the length of this variable is 6. And what is the last index? Length minus 1, which is 5. Now, if you want to access one element, here one letter, you simply write the name of the variable, s, square brackets. Now, what should I write here? So here you have to write the index of the corresponding letter. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say we want to get, or we want to retrieve letter O. So here you have to write 2, the index of letter O. Right? So what if you want to print all the letters, all the characters? So simple, we can use while loop, and then you need counter. But before using counter, you have to declare counter. Counter equals 0, and here counter less than 6. How to get 6? The length of s, we use len function, right? In order to get the length of a list or string. Len inside parentheses s. And here we have print. You just write s, the name of the variable, square brackets, counter. So counter is 0, counter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, you have to increase the value of counter by 1, not to have an infinite loop. So here you can write counter less than or equal to ln of s minus 1. So this is your choice. It's up to you. Either this one on the right or this one on the left. So basically, a string is a sequence of characters. And using square brackets and indexes, you can access one specific letter or character. So here we have something so important about strings. Strings are immutable. So they are immutable. It means you cannot modify them. You cannot change them. Here you can't change the value of this part, which is O. You cannot change O to F or any other character. So this is why we say strings are immutable. So there is no way to change any string. So this note here is so important. Strings are immutable. Okay, now let's talk about DL or del keyword. So when to use del keyword, if you want to remove or if you want to delete an element from a list. So remember, a list, not string, because strings are immutable. So whenever you want to delete an element from a list, you can use del keyword. So how it works, first let's have a list named x, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So how many elements do we have? We have 5 elements. Let me write the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We also have negative indexes, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and minus 5. So let's say I want to remove number 20, the element at index 1, which is 20. So this element right here. So how to delete this element? It's so simple. First, you have to write DL or del keyword, the name of the list, X in our example, and the index of 20, which is 1. So what it does, it removes number 20 from the list. You might say, what about negative indexes? Is it possible to use a negative index? Of course you can. So the same thing, but instead of 1, you just write the negative index. So here we have negative 4. So it does the same thing. It removes number 20 from the list. And this change here is permanent. So let's say the change caused by del is permanent. So if you print list X, you will get 10, 30, 40, and 50. So as you can see, we have 4 elements right now, not 5 elements. And this is the reason, because we've removed elements at position 1, at index 1. So let's say we have the same list here. We have X equals 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And you want to remove one element. Let me move it to, here. So del X 6. So this 6 here is the index, right? And suppose we have written 6 by mistake. So it happens, right? So this is the first index, and this one is the last index. What about this one? Do we have index 6? We don't. So you will get an error about index out of range. So this one causes an error if it is out of the range. So what is the range here? The range is from 0 up to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But here we don't have index 6, so you will get this error here, index out of range. So be careful when you want to delete or when you want to access an element from a list. So you have to stay within the range of the list. And one last thing. So what if you want to delete multiple elements? Is it possible? Of course it is. So let's say removing multiple elements. So again, the same thing, you have the keyword del, the name of the list, and here you need 2 integers, 2 numbers, and colon, of course. So here, starting index, and here you need the ending index. So let's say we want to remove from 20 up to 40. So we want to remove number 20, number 30, number 40. 3 elements, right? So here you have to write starting index, which is 1, and you don't write 3, because this index here will be exclusive. So you have to write 4. So 1 colon 4. So it means 1, 2, 3 until 4. 4 is not included. So let me write everything. So you have the keyword del and name of the list. So this action here is called slicing. I will talk about slicing in details later on in other lessons. So this number here, 1, this index, alright, inclusive, so it is included, but this number here that we have, 4, is exclusive. So basically you have these numbers 1, 2, 3. So it means delete these items, these elements from the list. So let's finish the lesson here. As usual, take care and bye bye.